Talking to people around me about no-code tools, I keep noticing a stigma, a feeling that it's somehow less good or less smart to use these tools than to code for real. First of all, no-code is about being efficient. It's about using the tools available to you to build the solutions you actually need, and not being overly reliant on IT support or eating into their time for things you could solve yourself in an afternoon. In this video, I want to take that stigma apart. You will learn where this attitude actually comes from, and why it has nothing to do with the quality of the work being done. The real landscape of no-code tools, and what each type is actually for. The real coding argument, and why it doesn't hold up to how software actually gets built. A simple framework for deciding when no-code is a smart choice and when you generally should reach for code. And why, if you run a team, dropping this stigma is a money decision, not just a mindset one. Let's get into it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of the stigma isn't about quality, it's about identity. For a long time, being able to code was a kind of secret handshake. It was hard, it took years, and the difficulty became part of the status. So when a tool comes along, unless someone gets the same result by dragging boxes around on a screen, it doesn't just feel like a shortcut. To some people, it feels like cheating, like you skipped the line. There's a deep assumption baked in here. The effort equals virtue, that if it didn't hurt, it doesn't count. But nobody applies that logic anywhere else. We don't tell an accountant to throw away the spreadsheet and do it on paper to prove they're serious. The goal was never the struggle. The goal was the outcome. Let's clear up what we mean with no code, as there are many different tools with very different jobs. The biggest category is automation or connectors. These stitch your apps together so things happen without you. Among the more well-known no-code automation tools are Zapier, Make, N8N, and Power Automate. Then you've got app builders such as Bubble, Power Apps, and Guide, which help you create an actual interface, not just the plumbing behind it. Different tools, different jobs. The skill isn't just using one, it's knowing which one to use, when, and to get comfortable with working with such tools. Now let's deal with the real coding argument head on, because it doesn't survive contact with how software actually gets built. Almost nobody writes machine code by hand. Developers use languages that hide the machine from them. Then they import libraries with code. Then they pull in frameworks, so they don't have to wire the libraries together. The entire history of computing is people building higher and higher layers, so the next person doesn't have to start from scratch. No code is a variant of this. A real developer reaching for a library to avoid, for example, writing authentication from scratch, and is doing something similar to what you're doing when you reach for a no-code automation tool. Same instinct, same good judgment. Now, of course, there are downsides to no-code tools. You don't get the same freedom to adapt the steps and solutions you create, and are tied to what the no-code tool provides in terms of functionality. But as a productivity tool, no-code is amazing. So here's the part that actually matters. When is no code the right call? And when should you genuinely reach for coding help? This isn't about pride, it's about fit. No code is a good fit when speed matters more than perfection. When prototyping, for example, or providing an idea. When the integration you need is a standard one that already exists. When the workflow belongs to the business and the business should own it. Not file a ticket and wait for weeks or even months. No code is also a good fit for smaller processes needing automation, where the cost of using a third-party tool or having it made by programmers is much larger than you creating the solution in a no-code tool. You reach for coding help when the trade-offs start to bite. There are real ones, and I won't pretend otherwise. If you have many tasks that need to be carried out, it gets expensive as you run hundreds and thousands of these tasks. Vendors lock in. Your logic lives inside someone else's platform. Debugging can be opaque when something breaks, and complex custom logic eventually hits a ceiling. The mature move is to start with no code and migrate with a specific piece that has outgrown it, not to write everything from scratch on day one because someone might judge you. Use the cheap, fast tool until it stops being the right tool. That's not a compromise. That's engineering. If you're a manager, there's a bigger reason to drop the stigma, and it's a money reason. Every time someone on your team solves their own small problem with a no-code tool, that's a request that never lands on IT's desk. Your specialists, the expensive, hard-to-hire ones, get to spend their time on things that genuinely need them. This is sometimes called citizen development, and done with a bit of governance, it's one of the highest leverage shifts a team can make. The keyword is governance. Give people guardrails, a few approved tools, somewhere to ask questions. That's the difference between healthy self-service and chaotic shadow IT. So let's put this idea to rest. Using the right tool for the job has never been the unintelligent choice. It's the entire point. The actual inefficiency is sitting on a problem for weeks because solving it the proper way felt out of reach, when a tool on your screen could have handled it before lunch. You don't earn points for doing it the hard way. You earn results. So here's what I'll do. Pick one annoying, repetitive thing you do every week. Open a no-code automation tool and start trying it out. Try to automate just that one thing. Not to become a developer, but to become someone who refuses to do work a machine will do for free. That's it. I'll see you in the next one.